Well, world leaders at the Asia-Europe Summit in Mongolia have been giving their thoughts and condolences on those attacks. TRT World's Shamim Chowdury is following the summit from the capital of Mongolia and joins us there from now live. Shamim, good to speak to you this morning. So just bring us the reaction from the summit, please.
Well, Kamali, this has certainly cast a shadow over the start of the meeting today. There are numerous leaders from Europe attending, and many of them have been very quick to come out and condemn what happened in Nice just hours ago. They include the Belgian foreign minister, who described it as an act of barbarism, and he called for the world to unite, for all the world leaders to unite against the fight against terrorism and against violence. There have been similar sentiments from leaders from Slovakia, Estonia, and Denmark. And at the start of the meeting, the Mongolian president led a moment's silence in honor of those who have been killed. But perhaps the strongest words come from the president of the European Council, Donald Tusk. This is what he had to say.
It is a sad day for France, for Europe, for all of us here, also here in Mongolia. And it's a tragic paradox that the subject of the attack were people celebrating liberty, equality, and fraternity. We all stand united with the families of the victims, with the French people and their government in its fight against violence and hatred.
And of course, Shamim, this incident will have overshadowed the start of that summit, but there'll be other things being discussed there, won't there? Just bring us up to date with what those are.
Yes, well, it's a biannual meeting, and it's the largest gathering of European and Asian leaders of its kind. And the idea is to consolidate trade deals, to enhance relationships between the two continents, and to kind of move them forward in a synchronized way in terms of business and development. But you know, there's a formal agenda, but there are certain issues at this moment in time that are on the minds of many of the delegates here, which are not necessarily going to be discussed. And one of those is the issue of the South China Sea. As you know, a UN-backed tribunal just a few days ago sided with the Philippines, saying that China had no legal remit to claim the waters as its own. Now, this is something that really does concern the Philippines. The president isn't here, but the foreign minister is, and they very much want to continue the dialogue but to ensure that diplomatic relations with China are not broken down. But China has actually been very hard on this issue, and he said, and the Chinese premier has said that this is not a subject that's up for discussion while they're here. But of course, Philippines has the likes of Japan and other countries sympathizing with it as well. So, and this is something that does affect a number of countries in this region. So that's something that is going to be on their minds. And then, of course, there's Brexit. You know, just a month ago, Britain decided that it would leave the European Union, and many countries here have very strong trade relationships with the EU, where they're now quite possibly going to have to renegotiate deals separately with Britain. So there are a number of concerns that leaders here will be thinking about.
Okay, well, Shamim, we thank you.